Frank, got anything to say?
Oh,
All
you got
right.
rid of that cat so fast.
Hello, Lions fans, and welcome to episode 35 of Just Lying Around, a Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I am joined by my co host and brother in law and commissioner of the Fantasy League, which I'd like to talk about
Ooh,
sometime today. But, Adam, how are you doing today?
man, I'm exhausted. I had the day off. I've been moving all weekend. On top of hosting a fantasy football draft. On top of doing this podcast. I've just been a busy man. Much appreciation to my girlfriend for also, putting up with me this weekend and helping me out. So, and you came over and helped put up the big stinking TV. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
like I said, the bill's in the mail.
Oh, I'm sure it is. If you knew
All
how
right.
stamps and letters worked.
Yep. But on today's show, we're going to cover the third preseason game versus the Steelers, cover some news, and then look ahead at a quick look ahead at the regular season opener versus the Rams, and talk about the cuts that are happening until tomorrow at 4. So let's jump into it. Preseason game number 3: Lions 24, Steelers 17. Um, Steelers did play their first string offense, which kind of showed there. And the Steelers got a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. Then their first string kind of stepped out for the Steelers. And overall, I want to say the Lions kind of took over the rest of the game there. So that tells you that our depth is either second or third strings are good or they're bad versus first string. But you
I
can be
mean,
the deciding factor on that one. But for me, I think with the cuts that are about to happen, we're going to see a lot of names we recognize and going, huh, I never figured that to happen there. So, yeah.
yeah, there's always some shocking name when it comes to the cuts. With talking about this game though, let's focus on that. I think watching the starters for the Steelers kind of march down, I was unimpressed. There was a bunch of second stringers. It's a unit that's not going to play together all the time. So I wasn't concerned. I sat there, I watched them go down and score 2 touchdowns. I was like, big what? I wasn't impressed with Russell Wilson. Oh wow, he found a wide open first string receiver on a bunch of second and third stringers. Like, I would hope you'd hit that, Russ. I'd be more concerned if he didn't go down and score a touchdown against those scrubs. So it is what it is. Look, I mean, scoring in the preseason is nothing. It's can you do your assignments? There was some crappy tackling for the Lions defense. It just looked like maybe some blown assignments. That's where my concern would be with the guys trying to make the roster. Like, can you just do the simple stuff right and do your assignments? That's the big goal to take away from that.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's just jump into stats real quick and we'll talk about a few of these players here. We got the Lions. Hendon Hooker played 3 quarters, I think a little bit of that fourth quarter, but he was 12 of 20 for 114 yards through the air, 1 touchdown and 1 interception, which watching that play, I wouldn't blame that on him. More of a Isaiah Williams stopped before completing that route and went off the hands and Cameron Sutton's hands there. We also had Maurice Alexander stand out for this game for the wide receiver crew, 4 receptions for 60 yards. Jameer Jefferson got most of the touches along with Jake Funk, I think it is. But Jameer Jefferson had 9 carries, 29 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And the guy that Adam was hooting and hollering about, didn't draft him in the fantasy league. Jake Bates was one of two field goal attempts, 46 being the longest he made, total 6 points. So he did make all the extra points after the touchdowns there. Steelers side, Justin Fields has always been a problem for us, but wasn't really a problem this game here. He had 3 for 4, 40 yards. He had 2 carries for 4 yards. And usually when Justin Fields takes off, he's like down the field in the end zone, and we're all mad about it. So, yeah, kind of held our end on that, him running away there. And lastly, another big name. Everyone knows him from the Falcons, Cordero Patterson. He's with the Steelers now. He had 3 carries for 31 yards, a 10.3-yard average, which is I hope that doesn't carry over in our regular season for the Lions. Hope they can stop it, which they will. He had also 1 touchdown there. Team stats: Lions dominated again. First quarter, Steelers had the first stringers out. After that, it was kind of shut down for the Steelers. Total yards: Steelers 215 and Lions 361 yards. Passing yards: 137 for the Steelers and 174 for the Lions. Rushing yards: 78 yards for the Steelers and 187 yards for the Lions. And yards per play: Steelers 5.0 and the Lions 4.9. So, a couple key takeaways here. I watched 3 quarters, kind of caught here little bits of the fourth quarter here and there because I had to leave for events going on. But that first couple offensive drives by the Lions looked horrible. I mean, that offensive line couldn't hold up against anyone. And Hooker was just going down left and right. He didn't look like he was in the rhythm. But once things got going after that, he was down the field throwing it. Besides that bad interception, running the ball too. I did notice that he's got to learn to slide because some of those slides he was doing were pretty horrible. So
yeah, they're rough. They're rough. I
yep.
mean, he to me, I wouldn't put a lot of it on the offensive line. Every time I was watching, I just thought it was Hooker just holding on to the ball too dang long. He has that bad tendency. It's only his 3rd game he's played in his NFL career, preseason game, whatever. But it's his 3rd game action he's seen, and he's just got to learn to either get rid of it or he's got to use his feet sooner. And that pocket's going to collapse. If it's not the starters, that pocket's going to collapse. So I don't know how much I put on the offensive line. I think it's a mix of, maybe a couple guys weren't up to snuff, but I think it's mainly him holding on to the ball just a little too dang long, and his receiver's not getting open, not creating the separation, or at least giving
Yeah.
him an opportunity to throw the ball away. That's what I took away from that.
Yep. So yeah, I'll agree with what you said there.
I would
But
hope so. I'm
moving on
right.
here, Sudfeld did not play, so that means he probably is going to make the roster. They probably are going to have to carry 3 quarterbacks because in the past the NFL did they had a rule in place to where if you had a quarterback on your practice squad, you could elevate him to game day if emergencies happen. But I think they retweaked it to where you get so many. Um, they have to be on your 53-man roster. So your quarterback from the practice squad would be like your 54, and they don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
So Sudfeld did not play. Also, the other running back that we were hooting and hollering about the last couple episodes, Sione Vaki, did not play this game. So I'm pretty sure from the sounds of it or looks of it, he has got a spot on this roster as well. So
Probably thanks to his singing voice.
yeah,
I mean, good for him. I've been liking watching him. He's definitely. I think he's out. I think he beats out Craig Reynolds for that 3rd running back spot.
I don't know. I think they just like Craig Reynolds too much. He might be the 4th. He'll be on the running back team, but he'll probably be a 4th. So they'll probably carry 4 people. Moving on here, defense kind of showed up. James Houston, I don't know if he's going to make this roster or not, but he had a sack during the game. And another guy, Ty Summers, linebacker, who I thought he did pretty dang well in this game, also had a sack. We'll talk about Summers here shortly, but yeah, what do you think of that?
I don't know. I don't know. Houston. I guess I didn't register that it was him who made a couple of the sacks, but I mean, I still would like him to make the roster. I know there was talk about him, and there's one other guy who's actually been playing pretty good. That I forgot how you spell his name.
Uh,
UG.
Ukwu, shoot, what's his name?
Yeah, something like that. I feel bad. I don't have the roster in front of me.
Isaac Ukwo.
Yeah, like he's been getting
Yeah,
a lot of praise. A lot of people are thinking the a roster spot's going to come down between those two. I don't think that'll be the case. I think they'll both probably make the roster, but I don't know. I with the defense, yeah, they finally started playing a little more cohesively. Once they were playing guys of equal stature on the other side of the line, on the offense, because those first stringers were just gutting them. So
yeah, yeah. They felt like they kind of targeted Stephen Gilmore's side a lot because always watching him on that side, he was always getting thrown to on this side. Um, I think it was Steelers' first stringer. Des Fitzpatrick was making a lot of catches on him.
mm,
So I don't know if that's going to hurt against Stephen Gilmore or not, but we'll have to see here.
yeah,
Then moving on, another name. I think they just signed him a week ago. Jake Fromm stepped in the fourth quarter after Hendon Hooker was done, and he's driving the ball down. I think it was 2 drives he was in there for. He seemed pretty good, so I don't know if the Lions are going to talk to him, if he can clear waivers or not, to try and get him on the practice squad. But yeah, I'd like to see Jake Fromm on that practice squad there.
yeah. I mean, for 2 drives or whatever it was he finally got. I mean, maybe even a third drive. I forget because there was a turnover and then he got the ball back. I think at the end of the game, but I liked what I saw. He got the ball out. He seemed like he made his first couple completions and I was like, all right, kid, what you got? He marched him down the field. So I don't. I'd love to give the kid a shot. It's hard. It's hard when you got a Nate Sudfeld there who you're paying money to. And I mean, as much as
Yeah,
I would probably, I mean, it's probably not the smart move. That's why I'm not the GM of the Lions. I'd probably cut Sudfeld. I'd want these 2 young rookies, not rookies, but the 2 younger guys, kind of back there. I mean, what you lack in experience, I think you lack in potential, or what you gain in potential there. So I don't know. I would love to see Jake Fromm somehow stay with his team, but I mean, it's the NFL. It's you got your roster restrictions, and if we lose them, we lose them.
yeah, and yeah, some of these cuts here, like the early cuts that happened here, some of these guys being cut. I mean, they can be starters on the other teams out there. So that just goes to show you what kind of talent the Lions have on their extended roster right now.
Yeah, we'll get to those, I'm sure.
Yeah. So another thing about this game, Broderick Martin, he was a big talk of the town last year. Big defensive tackle. Um, he was out there for the whole defensive side of the game there. But he went down in the fourth quarter, I believe.
Mm,
Right knee sounds like he could miss 1 to 2 regular season games if he does make this roster, which I think Brad Holmes hooting and raving about him last year. I think he will be on this team.
yeah.
So, anything else from this game you want to talk about?
Other than you kind of dissing my boy Jake Bates. I mean, yeah, he missed a pretty easy looking field goal. Look, he just needs the reps. Like he'll be fine. Kickers will miss kicks, but I still would take him over Michael Badgley and Riley Patterson at this point. Those guys couldn't even make over 45 yards, without us feeling like I don't know. Guess we got to go for it. At least Jake Bates gives you a shot going beyond 50. So I'm happy with Jake Bates. He's a young kicker, and hey, even Jason Hanson had you know bumps on the road his first year of the league. I'm sure. So give him time; it'll be fine.
Yep. So yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about Jake Bates being replaced. Like he's the only kicker on the team right now. I doubt any teams are going to cut any high-profile kickers that the. I doubt the Lions want to pay that kind of money to a kicker,
Nah,
especially
nah,
when they
not right
go with
now.
it for it on the fourth downs a lot.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Lions news. Another big guy that they signed this year, DJ Rader, was on the pup list. He has been taken off of it, so he was on at practice today. So that's going to be big news. Working alongside Elaine McNeil for the defensive tackles. I think reports are that he might miss the first game, but he should be back by the second. Just depends on how well he does during practice and how comfortable they feel about him being out there.
Yeah.
Then Laporta, Gibbs, Rodrigo, Zeitler, DJ Reader, Arnold, Davis, and Rakestraw all were hurt here and there during practice, training camps. They are all back, thank the Lord. But they are all back at practice today, and it sounds like everyone should be good to go besides Reader at the first game against the Rams. Was it next week? Not this week, next week.
Yeah, we got like 13 days as of this
Yeah.
recording.
So, yeah, that's good news.
Yeah.
And then Emmanuel Mosley, he got hurt during, was it training camp or was it the one before that?
Oh, the one of those off-season workout days or
Yeah,
whatever. I can't remember. That was so long ago.
but he went down for, I think it was a torn pec. They didn't really know how bad it was. Um, we thought, season's done with, he's over. But they did not cut him or put him on a injury settlement. They put him on IR, which could mean that he might be able to come back during the season. So that's good news. Hopefully he does come back because he was before this happened. Sounded like he was a starter nickel on the team. So hopefully he can come back in time. And Christian Mahogany drafted this year. It sounded like he had a very bad virus. So he's back finally. Sounded like he lost a lot of weight though, so they decided to put him on the NFI non-physical um, injury list or whatever,
Hold on. NFI. Make sure it's not NPI because physical is spelled with a P, not an F, Kyle.
or non-football related injury. I think.
There you go.
Yep, that might be it.
There you go.
But so that means for both those guys, they cannot come back earlier than the first four games. After that, they're good to get on the 53 53 man roster. So yeah, that's good news on both front for those guys.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, let's talk about the big news here that is going to happen tomorrow by 4 p.m. The whole NFL league itself has a 90-man roster right now, but they had to be cut down to 53-man roster by Tuesday at 4 p.m. So the Lions started their cutting down today. My heart was racing. I didn't know what was going to happen. But we're going to go down this list real quick, starting from the first cuts that came out. Wide receiver Caden Davis made a couple games during the preseason games. He's been cut. Another big name here. A lot of people were talking about. I was even talking about like hopefully this guy shows up in training camp and preseason because I'd like to see him on the team. But he did not show up a lot or any in the preseason game. That is Donovan Peoples Jones. He's been cut as well, and couple other tight end Shane Zylstra who got hurt last year. Finally good and healthy this preseason. Made a lot of good catches, so I'm kind of surprised he got cut here. I for sure thought he would make it over James Mitchell.
Yeah.
So, and then one other person I want to talk about, and I'll let you talk if you want to. Running back Zonovan Knight has also been cut. Another name that, which with the running back room right now, it was kind of going to be hard for him to be on that roster. So I think three, maybe probably all four of those guys can probably, hopefully, find another team to play for him. Should be either starters or second stringers.
Yeah. I looking at the list of roster cuts and moves thanks to the guys over at Pride of Detroit. I mean, the only one that shocks me is Donovan Peoples Jones, to be honest with you. I don't know. That's the only name. Him and Zylstra are the two that stick out. Zylstra, I thought, looked a little better than Mitchell during preseason. Uh,
Yeah.
And Donovan Peoples-Jones, I don't know. Didn't we? What draft pick did we trade to get him from the Browns? Was it like a
It had
fifth
to
round
be
or fourth? It was a
no,
fourth round.
no. I think it was even sixth or seventh.
Well, well, I mean, you took a flyer on a guy in the last year of his deal. I thought it was the last year of his deal there in Cleveland. I don't know. He never really did much in Detroit, so I guess I'm not too broken up. I just thought maybe he'd finally kind of this would be the time for him to kind of bust out and prove that he can make the roster, and clearly that's not the case.
Yeah, it was a sixth round pick.
Okay, 6th round pick. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, for a 6th round pick, I mean, why not at least take a flyer on a guy? So I'm not broken up about it. Just a little surprised.
Yeah. Hopefully, like I'd like to see Isaiah Williams make the team, but
Oh yeah,
again, he's kind of a small guy. I don't know if they want another small guy. Um, but there is going to be other big, tall guys out there from the other teams being cut that the Lions probably um, could go after and might go after, just depending on how cuts go after tomorrow.
yeah,
But yeah, another shout out, Ty Summers, linebacker, who played, I think, a really good game last game. He's been cut also, and long snapper Scott Daly has been cut as well. I think he's probably getting up there in age, so um, probably decided to let him go.
yeah. That's the nature of the biz.
Yep. So yeah, as of right now, they got 24 spots to go, or 25 spots to go. Uh, More cuts or whatever.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think tomorrow is going to be a flurry of action with all the news coming out. So yeah, keep an eye on
yep,
that stuff.
yep. But we'll talk about that on the next show, I'm sure.
Yep. So yeah, let's just jump into next first game of the season. We'll jump into this real quick. We'll have a more lengthy discussion about this next episode before the game. But the Lions are facing the Rams at home. It'll be Sunday, September 8th, 8:20 p.m. on NBC. We're going to talk about the Ram offensive line. They got a couple people hurt. Um, Cornerback play. How are they going to stack up against Stafford, Cup, and Nakua? And I know a lot of people out there are wondering what Jamison Williams is going to do. So we're going to talk about that too. So
Right.
make sure you be on the lookout for that episode.
Yep. And you know what? We didn't mention this during the preseason game talk, but the fact that the Lions fans like sold out a preseason
Oh yeah,
game and were noisy, they caused a couple of false starts, and it wasn't even like as crazy as I think it could have gotten. But the fact that they got that crazy for a preseason game just means come game day, come regular season time, it's going to be that playoff level all over again. It's going to be bonkers week in and week out with these fans. And as long as the Lions also keep winning and keep doing what they're doing, it's going to be absolutely nightmare inducing to come into Ford Field and play from now on.
yeah. I expect this first game facing the Rams. I expect it to be rowdy as heck, just like it was in the playoff game.
Oh
So
yeah, it's going to be just like they're going to boo Stafford. They're
yep,
gonna they're going to be relentless. It's probably going to be worse than you know the playoff game. Like we want to get the season off on a on a roll, so they're going to be really going at him.
yeah, it'll be interesting. Only thing is it's 8:20 at night, so either stay up and go to work tired or take a half day next day. But yeah, I don't. I think this game is one that you don't want to miss.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great. Can't miss television for sure.
Yep. All right. Anything else you want to add, or you good?
Um, I'm good. You didn't want to gripe at me for any more fantasy stuff?
Oh yeah. So this guy has a Jared Goff jersey on, and who does he draft for his quarterback? Uh,
Who do I
that's
draft, Kyle? Do you even know?
Jordan Love. Unbelievable.
I didn't want to have to, but I needed a quarterback at the spot, and I like Goff, but I don't know. I was trying to diversify my roster. I already had a couple Lions on the roster. I had to diversify a little bit.
You had who? You had
I got Amon-Ra and Laporta. So
unbelievable.
hey, I can't go week 5 without a roster. Okay, I mean having a couple guys already. I mean it's tough.
Yep. And then rooting and hollering about Jake Bates and who do you draft?
The best kicker in the NFL, Justin Tucker. What are you upset about? You're just upset because everybody thought I took a kicker too early. I'm sorry, guys. I had the opportunity to get the best kicker in the league. I went and got him. I grabbed a defense a little early. Guess who got the best defense in the league? This guy. Guess who got an A+ rating on their fantasy draft thanks to Yahoo? This guy. Suck it, Kyle. Mister, what'd you get? A B-?
Hey, you know what matters the most is I
What
picked
matters
up
the most?
Detroit's defense, and
Yeah.
they're going to be number one in the league. So who's
God,
laughing
I hope
now?
so. God, I hope so.
All right, so enough banter. Let's go ahead and close it out here.
Oh, yes, sir. We hope you enjoyed listening to today's show. We hope you come back for more. Be sure to visit the World of Football's website, www.theworldoffootball.com, for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, why don't you just send us an email at info@theworldoffootball.com, or you can connect with us by one of our social media platforms, that being X, Facebook, or Twitter. Just look for TWOF Kalamazoo, and that's how you can find us there. Links will also be down in the description below. Be sure to also check out our flagship podcast, which releases every Tuesday, called This Week in the World of Football, wherever you get your podcast. And you can find it on the very YouTube feed you probably are watching this video on. So go over there, check that out. Again, all those links are down in the description. And hope to see you guys there. Should have a good show
All
this week.
right, sounds good. That's it for this week. Be on the lookout for later this week, maybe, or early next week for another show. We'll talk more in depth about the cuts that happen, Lions versus Rams coming up. So, yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you
Looking
next
forward
time.
to it. See you then.
Yep.
Bye.